Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. I wish to my beloved lecturer, Sir Azmi. My name is Nur Atika Farzana binti Zaini and I am the representative of my group members to share about our result and finding of our case study for this EDU580 subject. So, the title for our case study is The Relationship Between the Interest toward Involvement in Co-Curriculum Activities and the Impact on Self-Efficacy among the Secondary School Student. So, these are the list of my group members. My first group members is Nur Shamimi binti Said, Aisyah binti Shamsul Yusli, Syafiqah Afifah binti Shu'ib, Shahira binti Mat Nizam, and me, Nur Atika Farzana binti Zaini. So, we will move on to the introduction for this case study. Co-curriculum is actually one of the important aspects in education as it plays a significant role in enhancing the learning process of students in school. Thus, co-curriculum activities are compulsory activities which is important for every student to participate and are balanced with the academic curriculum so that every student gets to learn beyond the subject. According to Prof. H. Mahmud Yunus, education is meant to assist children with the aim of improving knowledge, physical and morals that can gradually deliver the child to the highest goal. In related to this, self-efficacy is needed as it can be the adrenaline for motivation of students in shaping a person's attitudes, abilities, and cognitive skills. Therefore, self-efficacy becomes the root in students' belief in their own ability in order to accomplish something. So, this case study is carried out in order to identify the relationship between student interest towards the involvement in co-curriculum activities and also the impact on the self-efficacy among the secondary school students. So, there are three main sources of self-efficacy that will be the prior focus in this case study. So the first sources of the self-efficacy is the emotional physiological states, and the second sources of self-efficacy is the mastery experience, and the third sources is the verbal persuasion. Next, I will proceed to the research objective of our case study. So, the first research objective is to measure the secondary school students' interest towards the involvement in co-curriculum activities. The second research objective is to identify students' knowledge about the self-efficacy. The third one is to identify the impacts of co-curriculum activities on their self-efficacy. And the last research objective is to identify the relationship between students' interest towards involvement in co-curriculum activities and its impact on the self-efficacy among the secondary school students in Malaysia. Next, I will proceed to the methodology of this research. So, the instrument used in conducting this study is by using the questionnaire. We use the Google form as a platform for us to distribute our questionnaires, and the target group of our study is among the secondary school students in Malaysia. We managed to get a total of 50 respondents from secondary school students to participate in this case study. Our questionnaire consists of three parts: Part A, Part B, and also Part C. Part A consists of some demographic questions, while Part B involves 5 questions to determine the level of students' interest in co-curriculum activities in school. Meanwhile, we have divided the Part C question into 2 sections, The first section, which is Part C1 questions, are used to determine the level of students' understanding about the self-efficacy, while Part C2 questions are made to identify the impact of co-curriculum activities on their self-efficacy. Then we will move on to our results and findings of our case study. So this is the Part A sections which involve the demographic questions. So as we can see here, the first demographic question is regarding the gender. The result shows that majority of the respondents are female, which is 70%, while the male respondents are only 26%. So, female respondent here is categorized as the dominant respondent in this case study. Next, the next question is regarding the age of the respondent. So, as we can see here, the highest percentage of the respondents in this study are at the age of 17 years old student with 42%, and the respondent which is at the age of 13 years old show the least percentage of only 2% of them that participate to answer this question. Okay, the next slide shows about the percentage of the background placement of the respondent, in which there are about 62% of the respondent who come from urban area, while another 38% of them come from the rural area. And then, regarding the participations of the respondent in school, the finding shows that there are about 20% of the students who are not actively involved in co-curriculum activities. This result shows that there are a minority of the respondents who are not actively involved in any co-curriculum activities in school, while the remaining 80% of the respondents are the active students. Regarding the position of the respondent in school, the percentage for the position of students in their uniform bodies, club, and societies are various, and the highest position shows that the ordinary members become the dominant respondent, which is about 38% of them are the ordinary members, in which it shows that the respondent does not have any positions either in the uniform bodies, club, or the societies. But the findings also shows that about 24% of the respondents, which is quite a high number of respondents, hold the position as the presidents in their club and societies. Okay, in this slide, I will share about the result and finding of Part B section, which is to determine the level of students' interest in the co-curriculum activities in school. So, as we can see here, the Part B section consists of 5 questions, and the result shows that question 3 have the highest mean with a value of 4.46 for its mean. So based on the finding in Part B, majority of means for all 5 questions are above 4, and the average means for Part B is 4.30. So this shows that the majority of the respondent has a high level of interest in co-curriculum activities. Besides, the highest mean is question 3 with 4.46, with the lowest standard deviation, which is 0.6455. So we can see that majority of the respondents agree that involvement in co-curriculum activities can motivate them more and nurturing a positive attitude. Supported by other research that conducted by Bharati in 2014, co-curriculum activities nurturing positive personal growth physical and mental health, academic achievement, social and also cultural awareness. So these are the activities that motivate students for learning and make their lesson enjoying. Next, I will share about the result and findings of Part C1 section, which is to determine the level of students' understanding about the self-efficacy. So, as we can see here, the Part C1 section consists of 3 questions. And the result shows that question number 8 have the highest mean with 4.44, and question number 8 involve the statement that I have the knowledge that one's experience in various events as well as socializing with other individuals has a profound effect on one's level of self-confidence. So based on the finding, the average means for Part C1 is 4.21. This indicates that the level of understanding of students regarding the self-efficacy also quite high. Next, the highest mean is for question number 8, which focus on the mastery level of the self-efficacy, which involve socializing with others, have a huge impact on their confidence level. Besides, the lowest standard deviation in question 8 proves that there is a less variability and lower magnitude of deviation. Hence, we can see that most of the students understand about the concept of self-efficacy, especially on the mastery level aspect. Supported by other research that conducted by Howard Margolis and Patrick McVie in 2006, students with a strong understanding of efficacy are more likely to challenge themselves with a difficult task and also be intrinsically motivated. Apart from that, in co-curriculum activities, students who are actively participated in co-curriculum activities help them in socializing and improving their self-confidence. Okay, so we will proceed to the last section, which is Part C2 section, which is to identify the impact of co-curriculum activities on their self-efficacy. So in this Part C2 section, it consists of about 12. It consists of about 12 questions involving the 3 important sources of the self-efficacy. So, the finding shows that the average means for Part C2 question is 4.21. So, based on the finding in Part C2, the average means for this part is 4.21, and this indicates that most of the respondents agree that their interest in the co-curriculum activities positively affect their self-efficacy, includes the verbal, persuasive, emotional, and physiological state as well as the mastery level. So, supported by other research that conducted by Beckham Son et al. 2020, co-curriculum activities provide an environment for adolescent development of new skills and help them to develop an academic self-efficacy. He argued that the integration of interest in co-curriculum activities and self-efficacy in this study has revealed that the individual's perceived of self-efficacy promotes the development of subsequent interest in the activities. Now we will proceed to the analysis of this case study by using the SPSS. So, in this SPSS, the purpose of using this SPSS is to identify the main purpose of this case study, which is to determine the relationship between the students' interest towards the involvement in co-curriculum activities and its impact on their self-efficacy. So, this slide shows the means of the students' interest and with the number of questions. And this slide shows the means of impacts on the self-efficacy. So, based on the finding from the SSPS, in Part B, from the bar chart, the data show that question number 3 has the highest value of mean, which is 4.46. And in Part C question, the question number 5 recorded the highest value of mean, which is 4.52. Both of the means value obtained indicates that most of the respondents are strongly agree with the question that related with the students' interest on co-curriculum activities and the impact on self-efficacy. In this slide, we managed to find the correlation between the mean IOS, or we call it as the mean of interest of students, and also the mean of ISE, which is the impact on the self-efficacy. So, based on this slide, it shows about the finding between the correlation between the mean interest of students and the mean impacts on self-efficacy by using the SSPS analysis. So, as we can see here, the value of correlation between these two means is about 0.754, and the significance shows a value of 0.00. So, based on the finding from this SSPS correlation, the data was gained from a computed means of Part B and Part C 2 section, which refers to the interest of students toward the involvement in co-curriculum activities and also the impact on their self-efficacy respectively. The value of R is 0.754. So the data indicates a strongly positive correlation between these two variables. Apart from that, the value of P is 0.000, which shows that the data is statistically significant and these two variables are related to each other. Hence, it is proven that there is a close relationship between the student interest towards the involvement in co-curriculum activities and the impact on their self-efficacy. Hence, based on these results of the correlation analysis from the SSPS, it is concluded that we managed to prove that there is a significant relationship between students' interest towards their involvement in co-curriculum activities and the impact on their self-efficacy. So, these are some references that we have used in order to complete this results and findings section. So that's all from our group. Thank you.